The Chaser Report is recorded on Gadigal land.
Striving for mediocrity in a world of excellence. This is the Chaser Report.
Hello and welcome to the Chaser Report. This is the second half of a bit of a cliffhanger episode.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Yesterday we got up to June in the year.
June.
For context, we're going through the main
yeah.
points of the news in the last year.
Yeah. And John and Lachlan are here, and John has, I don't know, what did you do? You just remembered. You're just remembering the year.
wanted to
This is the Hamish and Andy remembering project,
Yeah.
remembering 2022.
I wanted to do an article wrapping up the year and then realize so much stuff happened this year that it'd be better just to do it on the podcast.
Yes.
So I don't
Save
have
you writing it.
Yeah.
So what happens after June?
Yeah.
So,
what happened?
We're going into July now, and the UK lost their Prime Minister. Boris Johnson was forced to resign, and no, not for the reason you're probably thinking of. It was not the parties.
Oh, it wasn't the party.
It wasn't
I
the
thought it was
parties.
the party.
No, it was, wasn't it?
Because he got found guilty of holding a party or something.
Yeah, he got found guilty of illegally holding parties in the Prime Minister's home. That got found illegal, and then there was a no confidence vote, but he won that vote. And then he got forced to resign a few weeks later.
Oh, yeah.
Because it got revealed that he had promoted a
Oh,
politician
it
called
wasn't.
Pincher.
It was
to
the Pincher
chief,
guy.
whip,
Oh, yes.
even though he directly knew that there was sexual harassment complaints against him.
Because he made the
And
joke.
he made the joke, once a pincher, always a pincher.
Or no.
Yeah.
Pincher by name, pincher by nature.
So he completely knew.
And then the Conservative Party was like,
Of course he was undone by a quip. Quite a good quip.
Quite a good-
the Conservative Party was like, okay, yeah, no, you can't just promote someone you know is doing that stuff. But
we'd
looking back,
never do that
Boris,
in Australia.
So I'm sure it sent shockwaves to the coalition here, being asking what went
Better
wrong.
up our game.
They probably called Scott Morrison's empathy consultant, I'm confused. Isn't that why you give someone promotion? Also around that time was John Barilara's ICAC hearings were the big hit in local news, just as big of a hit as John Barilaro did to an ACA reporter.
Yeah. So what was John Barilaro done for?
Barilaro was the job.
So John Barilaro.
He was promised the job. Yes.
Yeah. So he actually is the person.
This is what we're saying. There's too much in 2022 to possibly remember.
Something I forgot is he's the one who asked for the ICAC. He was the one going we need an ICAC into this. I want to give evidence forward.
Yeah.
Because it turned out that he actually wasn't the person who gave him the job.
But didn't he go into the into his office? Well, part of the evidence was, and he went, "That's the job that I want."
Go on, that one. I don't
the
want
trade envoy that we've just created. I'm going to have that in a few years' time. What was
Yeah, so I
he
think
said that.
there was stuff like that. Plus, also, there's been text to Matt Keane being "Do you reckon I should apply for this?" And Matt Keane was like, I mean, I guess. Yeah, sure. Eventually what happened was it turned out, the main person who cleared him there was someone who constantly kept badgering all the public service people hypothetically, if I was to change the list order so I can give it to John Barilaro as a surprise gift, what would I do? And then so they literally just wrote down those conversations being she said surprise gift. So it sounds like she's going to rig it.
I mean, who hasn't wanted to give their boss a job in another country? We've thought about giving Charles a job in New York all the time. But it's not as a gift for him, it's as a gift for us.
I'll take it.
So going into the next month, obviously that wasn't...
Where are we up to now?
Next to August, and that's when it got revealed that Scott Morrison had also given himself jobs.
I think it's a bit very... like the coronavirus.
Yeah.
We thought we'd got rid of it, and then 5 new variants pop up.
This is now where the world lost a great leader. Beloved by many despite doing absolutely fuck all. Many were shocked to find out they were still going around in the first place. We all mourned the loss of a staple in every home, the COVID Safe app. We lost the COVID Safe app. It was close to finding its first case, but it got shut down rudely by the Albanese government. After costing us a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and then they announced that public holiday for the COVID Safe app getting shut down.
I mean, obviously that wasn't the only death at the time. We had ABC's 14-day wall-to-wall coverage of a loss that only racist old people thought was relevant. Channel 10's Neighbours got shut down for a bit. Also, the Queen died around that time. I don't know if you remember.
No, I think I remember that.
Yeah, that was a whole thing.
Nice to see, Prince Charles taking over as king. Finally.
Charles. Yeah. It hasn't clicked over yet for anyone.
But,
I was really hoping he would
white
go out
man
first.
back in charge.
Into September now. We had the 6th once in 100-year flood at that point. And then that was like the whole news was because that was one of the ones where like the entire east side of the country has got hit by floods. October, Britain lost another prime minister and another Liz. Liz Truss after 6 weeks of being prime minister, which is still a funny sentence. And then sadly, we've had multiple other that have been less time.
But she wouldn't even be in the top 5 for us. Is that correct?
Yeah, there was like something where there's some that's like you just count it in the days.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about Liz Truss was that she got in and was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna bring in tax cuts for the rich." And all the economists were like, please don't do that. And then she's like, I'm going to do it. And the public was like, don't do that, change it back. And she was like, no, let's just keep going. Let's see how it works. Like, it's weird seeing the implosion that quickly of a policy. And then, like, in Australia, the Labor Party was like, we should all take notes and learn how to do it better. And it's like, no, it's still like, oh, yeah, we're still bringing tax cuts for the rich, but we're just not going to do it how Britain did it. And it's like,
I've got a real theory about this, which is that policy has been electoral gold since 1980.
Tax cuts for the rich.
Tax cuts for the rich has been the prevailing way of doing anything for the last 45 years. 1981, 40 years, let's say. 1981 was when Reagan started doing it, and it just worked, right? Like it worked in terms of you look like you're doing tax cuts, and then the rich benefit, and it looks like you're doing it for everyone.
So poor people vote for you because you're doing a tax cut. Rich people vote for you because it only benefits them.
And then I reckon the whole thing is that, like, the reason why they're doing it in Australia still is it's like inertia. Like we sort of think of the Treasury and Liz Truss, she must be so smart, and you just go, no, she's just as dumb as everyone else, and she just hasn't updated her thinking. Same with the Australian Treasury, they just don't realise
that this is not going to.
It's not. It's over.
But you got to give them.
That's over.
You got to give them respect though. They made an electoral promise and they stuck to it.
Yeah, and you can understand why the Treasury in Australia do it, because they're all on. They'd be all on the senior public servants. They're on $370 a year.
Hey, who else wants a tax cut?
Yeah, exactly.
All in favour say, 100%.
Okay, but.
And then, like, I mean, even with the
look at this modelling I got that says it's good.
Whoa, we've got bilateral support across the bench. It's amazing.
The Chaser Report. Now with extra whispers.
I remember, like, because this was also around the time that the initial, like, looking at the election for Labor got leaked, and it was like, do we think that it was the policies or was it Scott Morrison that caused the election? And then now, like, around the time of recording, they've just like the full strategy thing has just really been released, and they spent 6 months researching, spending a lot of money. I was like, the reason the reason Albanese won was because everyone hated Scott Morrison. And it's like, you could have saved 6 months of money and planning to just ask like anyone. And then they've also come out with a plan of like, which obviously looks like a nudge thing as well. Like, the biggest threat is the Teals and the Greens the next election. So clearly the solution is we go more conservative and then villainize them. And say everyone
I am looking forward to,
and they
hear
said
me
that,
out. I'm going to be the first person to say this in the country, and I want it known. Yeah. I am looking forward to a Greens majority, I'm looking forward to the Greens being a major party after the next election.
What?
Well,
it's going to happen. There's no way.
No, I don't know if they're major. They'll definitely, I feel like, because they said the way they're going to stop the balance of power is by going conservative and then saying
kids who
the
are
Teals and the Greens, you need to vote for the major party because they're crazy. Look how crazy. I'm like, that is literally what Liberal Party tried at this election and failed. But the inertia idea of like, oh no, that's how we're going to win. It's like, let's get
4 years from now, a kid who's your son who's 14 will be voting in the next election.
First of all, 3 years
is not going to vote for Liberal. Your son's going to vote in the next election, right?
No, because
14 plus 3 is 17.
17.
I don't know if your kids are 14 or 15.
Yeah, 14, 3. But countering that is that, and this is true. This is the scientific, measurement, which is that there is a metric fuck ton of boomers still alive, and they're not dying. Right,
they're not
like if you
right.
look at the demographics
No,
in
that's
Australia,
true.
if you go to the ABS website and you look at how many old people are there, like how many people over 65 are there, it's like 99% of Australia is people over 65. It is unbelievable.
Why do you think I'm going to all of these nursing homes and trying to give everyone COVID, Charles? I want my bed. I want a Greens majority to come through.
That's why we've got the let it rip strategy. That's a Greens conspiracy.
If only someone could stop flooding all of these other places, then I'll be fine.
Moving on, we've got in October we also had that's when the hacking started. Of every company got hacked at the same time.
Yep.
Like the NBN was no longer the biggest threat to Australian internet. And that's also when
I think Optus dealt with it quite well.
by advertising on our podcast now.
Yeah, have you heard them?
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're
Optus
advertising on the
has
show.
They're we're sorry.
Sorry.
We understand that people are upset by what happened, but you can trust us now.
Sorry that everyone got your data. Charles Firth of 107.330. You haven't heard that ad?
No, I just thought, because there was a strange week, wasn't it? Like at the beginning of the week, they were the hacker
Was asking.
was clearly a teenage boy.
Yeah.
It was. Do you think it was Cam? Maybe.
Oh, undoubtedly.
I had my
Yeah.
suspicions.
Yeah.
If anyone...
Was asking for $1 million. By the end of the week, it was like, nah.
Unlike what Elon Musk is now doing to Twitter's old employees, where he's just doxing random employees, this person had a soul.
Oh my goodness, Elon Musk hasn't even bought Twitter yet.
That's where we're up to. Is Elon Musk buying Twitter? Everything
Yeah.
going to shit on Twitter.
Oh yes.
My favorite thing about Elon Musk buying Twitter is it's proved he's not a genius. Every decision he made, it was the obvious thing not to do. He just fired his main lawyer because his lawyer pointed out that there's legal issues with him doxing employees. That's your lawyer's job.
Yeah. Well, so does this mean we'll see the end of Elon Musk in 2023? I mean, is that on the cards? Is he at risk of bringing down his whole...
Looking at these companies right now, Tesla stock is at the lowest it's been. Neuralink is getting investigated by authorities because of animal abuse. So, it does look like he's going to go down, which is great because that's one of the biggest... That's an actual villain going down.
Yeah, no, we've taken him down. I think that the only thing that you need to understand that Elon Musk is completely insecure and a failure is the fact that he started buying Twitter with the campaign that he'll bring back free speech and then one day later shut it down because he didn't like people making fun of him.
I mean, obviously the best part of the story is that he did it because Joe Rogan and his ex-wife texted him asking him to do it.
Where are we up to? We're up to please
November.
tell me we are through October.
We are up to the election in Victoria when Dictator Dan
fell down some stairs.
He won the...
Again.
He won the shocking win in Victoria. That was shocking to the media and very obvious to literally everyone else.
I don't think that anyone could have picked it.
Did you think that Dan Andrews might actually be getting a statue?
Really?
There is a chance because he's been in for so long, this old draconian law could mean that he might get a statue.
Because if there's one thing we know about people who aren't dictators, it's that they hate getting statues put up of them.
Yeah, absolutely. The weirdest thing about that election to me is still the idea that they're right, we need a personality battle. We're going to paint Dictator Dan as the guy who fell down some stairs once and is a pussy.
Yeah. Versus
Nazis. We love the Nazis. Nazis are going to win it. Obviously, Matt Guy said he wasn't going to step down, and then a day later said he was stepping down. And I'm assuming Kanye West will be the new leader of the Victorian Liberal Party.
Yeah. And that was November.
So now we're into December.
Now we're up to December.
When Scott Morrison got censured for a constitutional crisis.
Censured. That sounds like a really devastating and impressive punishment.
Oh, I mean, yeah, it's great. It's great for
Surely
that level.
He faced huge consequences for his unconstitutional actions.
It is the exact same level that Pauline Hanson... It was too harsh for Pauline Hanson to get for her racism stuff.
Oh, boy.
It was a real stern talking to on the Hansa. That's a no-no. And it's a real bad no-no. We don't like it. It's similar to what I got about one of my jokes.
We're sending a letter home to your parents, Scott.
Well, no, that's the next step.
That's the next step.
Yeah,
that's
go censure, then let it to your parents, and then if you're really bad, 5 minutes in the naughty corner. And then we are up to now, which is when Trump wants to destroy the Constitution.
Oh, I thought we were done with the year, and then you kept going.
And that's it. I'm not going into that further because I'm pretty sure we just did an episode about Trump and the Constitution.
Trump and the Constitution, and who knows.
And by the time this episode comes out, Godzilla's probably attacked New York, and
I'm actually
it's
really
gonna
scared
rain
because I know
fire.
that this episode isn't supposed to come out for 4 days. Who knows what could have happened? I just cannot believe that this year has gone on for this long, and it feels even longer when you're doing it in 2 podcasts.
I cut out
episodes.
a lot as well. You can now see why I didn't want to do this. As a
Oh
regular
no, this
article.
was terrible. This is a terrible idea. In fact, it's gone on. 2022's a wrap-up episode has gone on for so long that Charles has fallen asleep.
Yeah. If you notice why he stopped talking about Elon Musk, it was because he said his point, and then he just started like going glassy-eyed, and now he's fully asleep.
Now he's fully asleep.
So our gears from Rode Microphones, and we're part of the Acast Creator Network.
Everyone wish Charles a happy new year on Twitter and sweet dreams.
Night night, Charles.
So what? What? It's over already? Oh no.